Okay, now we're started. We're listening to The Fate of Ophelia, the first song.
My mom tries to call me right now. Okay.
Are you the person, Sammy, that people text or like when a Taylor Swift album comes out?
I am a person. I don't get like dozens of texts, but I definitely get like a sufficient. I get a bunch, What about you?
I've definitely gotten a few today.
Yeah.
And like people I don't speak to, on a regular basis.
Yeah. I also ask a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So did you, okay, so like, let's just dive in because, anyone who wants to can catch up.
Yeah.
Brian, what is your first reaction?
I was surprised because I really thought it was going to be like Reputation era, 1989, like very poppy upbeat, but it's a lot of like, there's not a lot of synths in it. I don't know if there are like any, like, I don't know if it's all like practical instruments, that was my initial response. I love it. I may be biased. I'm like kind of a fascist for Taylor Swift. So I don't know.
Okay. Where does it stack up in like all of her albums for you?
Jesus, that's hard. I have to say, I am very much of like the depressed, sad Taylor fan. Like I love A Tortured Poet, A Folklore, and Evermore.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say on the first listen. What about you? What are you thinking?
I've listened to it like probably 7 times by now. And okay, I feel mixed. I like it. Like it's a great pop, fun, catchy album. I'm a hardcore Swiftie. I don't need it to be the depressed Taylor. I like all of it. I like her experimental stuff. I'll take it all. I felt that this was like the lightest, like sort of thinnest lyrically, narratively in terms of her storytelling. And there were like parts where I'm like, we know she does cringy lyrics and like I accept that about her, but I felt that this really lacked like the depth that like gives you the chills when you listen to it. And it didn't have as many of those like really sick bridges. And then I just felt like she wasn't saying much new. Like I feel that so much. Someone says I love that it wasn't that serious. I will address that in 1 second. I feel that she retread ground that she's already tread and not as well. Like I almost like I already have been thinking the whole time. I was like, okay, she already like did this in this song. She did this in this song, but she like did it better. And I agree that it wasn't that serious. I don't need it to be serious. Like I actually don't need her songs to be serious at all. But she does very unserious music or unserious sounding music that is really sophisticated. And I think that like I don't know if you listened to Sabrina Carpenter's album that just came out, but like
yes, yeah.
I love that album. And like I never thought that Sabrina Carpenter would release like a more lyrically sophisticated with like more sophisticated themes than Taylor Swift within the same like 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. Emily, do you have any thoughts?
Do I have thoughts on Taylor Swift? No. No, I think it's been really interesting to see people's reactions. I am more of a fan of the Taylor Swift fandom than I am a fan of Taylor Swift herself. I like the community that she creates. Like, I was listening to Hunter Harris's Substack Live earlier today, who's talking a lot about how she's doing these movies, right? Like she's creating this in-person moment for people to come together. I was trying to track the Easter eggs, and to be honest, I don't understand what's happening. And that's good, right? Like, I think that's a good thing. Like, I, an outsider, don't understand the nuance that you have within your community. And that's how communities are kept together. So it's been really interesting for me to take a step back and to see, because I don't feel, usually when there's a Taylor Swift moment, I feel like all of the Swifties are like together as a blob in a movement. And I'm not feeling that today. It feels a little bit different than usual.
I think prolonged marketing promotional lead up to this kind of was not as great or as necessary. I feel like because she already dominates so much of the conversation, for her to be dominating the conversation with just promo and marketing and like fucking locks on her website, like kind of became a little tedious. And I
Mhm.
wonder, had she instead shortened it or shortened the marketing plan or promotional plan or just like dropped it? I was like, here you go. Like, if the reaction would be different.
I think that like the album didn't live up to the volume of the marketing is what I feel. Like it just night like I think that for me this is her weakest album, like for hands down. Like it is I actually can't decide. Previously I could not decide what my least favorite Taylor Swift album was, and unfortunately it like has to be this one just because I think about like what moments in each song was I like, oh my God, that's brilliant and genius. And honestly, there were points at this when I was like, wow, I wish she had used like a different lyric. Like Girl Boss Too Close to the Sun. I'm like, why would you use that one? It was like Girl Boss Too Long at number 1 was right there. And it
Yeah.
actually like twists it in a way that won't make the songs obsolete in like 5 months. And it's like, I, it just feels like just like not as artistically not ambitious. I do think it's like well produced. I like the bops, but
Hmm.
yeah, and I think part of the reason I saw a really funny tweet, Emily, you're saying like you don't see as much communities. Like one, I don't think the Easter eggs bore out so much in the actual lyrics. Two, people really want Reputation ball tracks. And three, I saw a tweet from T Kyle that said, I don't know how to explain it, but this feels like election night. And I had that same exact thought, along with the thought that this kind of felt like the White Lotus finale to me. Like so much hype. Like I love it so much. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it's not
Yeah.
like, ooh,
But
chills.
Brian, you're going to see the movie this afternoon. Are you
I
still
am
like
seeing the movie this afternoon. Yes.
Are
At
you
3.
excited?
I'm very excited. So, like we talking about the community of the Swifties. So, my best friend is also not is a Swiftie, but not as much. But we do this for all of our pop girlies. We usually stay up till midnight and we'll like text for each song. And we were lit. We were excited listening to it. Like we had a great time. So I don't know. Like I always feel like I have a tough time making a hard and loose like a hard decision the day of. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
even with like the first you mentioned the Sabrina Carpenter album. The first time I listened to it, I was like, "Ugh." And then
Oh, really?
I listened to it again, and I was like, oh, actually, I think I like that song. And then I like this song, and then I like this song. So I that always just kind of happens with me.
Me
I
too,
immediately,
usually, but with
yeah,
with Taylor and with the Sabrina Carpenter album, like first go round on some of those Sabrina Carpenter songs, I was like, that's brilliant. Like Go Go Juice, Never Getting Laid. I was like, oh, those are like really what's the other one? The one with the mom, your son,
yeah, but
uh,
like the idea of the
nobody's son.
Nobody's Son, I do wonder the
Like when
longevity
you
of
heard
a song
folklore
like
the
that.
first time, like when you heard folklore, when you heard certain songs on Lover,
Yeah, well,
I remember when Lover came out, and like there were immediately songs that were like, that's amazing. Like that's amazing storytelling.
yeah.
That's really, but it's
so?
not that I had a good time listening to it. I was like, oh, like this is nice.
I felt a little bit of the storytelling with The Life of a Showgirl.
A little, yeah.
I
And
like when she does this thing where I guess like a lot of country songs follow this formula, basically of just like it sounds like they're talking about someone else, this other person's story, and then they like end
yeah,
up being it's
it's
about
me.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, like Clara
And
Bow.
it's yeah, Clara Bow, Last Great American Dynasty. It's like the same formula of that. And I thought it was and then also
And
Sabrina got her own
Father Figure.
verse and Father
Oh,
Figure.
that was
Most of the
like that
time,
too.
most of the time, the features the Taylor Swift features they get like a harmony on a bridge. So
Mhm.
Sabrina Carpenter actually got her own verse.
I mean, I actually think her voice really added a lot to it. Like, she had an amazing voice for it, but
Yeah,
also okay, Ruin the Friendship. When I first heard it, I was like so taken out of the actual album like just so confused. Like, is high school a metaphor? Is this
Mm-hmm.
or then you realize it's a story and I'm like, oh, this is great storytelling. I kind of felt like it should have been a bonus track almost.
Mm.
Like it felt so random, but it's a great song actually. I actually think it's one of the better bridges on the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it just felt so random within this like succession of songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a tweet that said the Maha girlies are gonna love Wish List. Is that one of the songs?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it about?
So there's a
Maha.
lot of so the you saw that Evie magazine like tweeted the quote. So
Yeah, I really
okay,
want to talk
this is
about.
actually something I find a little bit annoying that I did see a bunch of people saying like, oh, the trad wives are gonna love this. This is her like MAGA album for a few reasons. One being wish list that she says like she just wants to like settle down and have a bunch of kids, make the whole block look like him, which I think actually suggests marital issues. No, like, right?
Yeah.
It should just be the whole
Well, I guess
house,
if you're Taylor Swift, you
the
also
whole
own that
fam
song.
looking like you.
Yeah.
You know, like I know you could get a whole block, but she's also suggesting she's going to have a basketball hoop in the driveway. So I don't really come on. That's an indoor
Yeah.
situation for them. A pavilion, if you will. So I just felt it was like, so yeah, but what I find annoying is that like they're trying to own having a family. Like it's like, oh, because she's 35 years old and she wants to settle down with a guy like with the guy that she's been looking for years, as we know. It's like, oh, so she's she's a MAGA because of that. Like I don't like that. However, I always think of Taylor Swift as like the median of culture. And it just so happens to be that she's writing it in this way. And I think that's maybe like what's less interesting about it. Like she's a mirror ball. She's who she surrounds herself with. And it's not that I don't think like, oh, this is like a real reflection of her relationship. I just wish she had gone into like more complicated elements of it that were like less just flat or like two-dimensional. And I think that that's what like the MAGA people like, that it's like, oh, she has kids and a family, like she gets her happily ever after, like so they think, oh, she you know, she's one of us. But yeah, that's not my disappointment. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
I did not feel that at all, to be honest. I was just like, oh, she's like happy in a
Yeah,
relationship. That's like
same.
literally all
She's
I
having
really
good
got from
sex.
it. Yeah, exactly. That's very apparent from this album. She is
Yes.
like very happy in her sex life.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the dollar signs in in the title, as opposed to it's a wish list, but with the S's dollar sign.
I think that song was also trying to like throw some shade at other people for wanting like materialistic things, but all she wants is him, very paper rings, except I didn't actually get that
It's
vibe.
like it's like an extension of like the prophecy in a freer, happier way. That's a song from
Yeah.
Poet's Department, which probably did that theme a little bit better.
I think, okay, I'll be honest, like Tortured Poets has, and I actually wrote this down and counted, Tortured Poets has more incredibly written songs that I could name off the top of my head than this album has songs. Like, and
Oh,
that's
there's like
kind of
32
crazy.
songs. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's like people think it's fluffy. There are some like really, even if they're not like bangers and they're super serious, like the writing on them is just like it's superior. It just is.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was the contribution of Jack Antonoff. Better like English lyrics, because Max Martin and Shellback are not. I mean, like they don't. English is not their first language.
Yeah.
So I want to take a step backwards because when I had seen the tweet about Maha, I was not thinking trad wives, and I was thinking distinct from the trad wife situation. I just want to read the closing quote in Evie magazine. Evie magazine is the quote unquote conservative cosmopolitan magazine that's actually funded by Peter Thiel, who's very obsessed with the Antichrist, and is JD Vance's monetary sponsor. Okay, here's their closing statement. The feminist decades told women to sneer at marriage, to see domesticity as a trap, to applaud men who refused responsibility as somehow enlightened. but the life of a showgirl offers a counter narrative that being cherished, chosen, and committed is not a weakness, but a strength. And it is really, really interesting. Coming into this conversation, I was not. The politics of Taylor Swift are always a little complicated, and they're often meta, right? Like, it is us putting onto her what we think her politics represent, but is not often her articulating a political statement, except for, the few times when she had. But it is interesting because I actually think this album is quite political, right? When of the moment we are having, like, the gender wars are so important. And when you see EV Magazine immediately trying to spin it their way, whereas I would spin it immediately the other way, which is to say, like, this is actually exactly what we've been talking about, which is you can have a career and want a husband and children. Like, those things are copacetic and real, and you don't have to be anti-feminist to have a husband and children. And that's what I think she's saying.
She says she's married to the work, like her job.
I also feel like they're spinning it in a way where it's that she has chosen and she is devoted. It's a mutual chose and devotion situation. Like, he very much makes it clear that he's obsessed with her as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that quote kind of spins it like where she's being devoted and he's the devotee, where it's actually it's much more back and forth and not one-sided.
My mom actually made that comment, like, after the New Heights episode. She was like, it's so interesting. Like, she's like, you never heard in her, she said, in my generation, you never heard that the guy is so lucky to be with the girl. It was always, oh, she's so lucky. She has a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she really, like, loved that in this episode, he realized how lucky he was, and everyone else did too. My internet connection's a little unstable, but you guys, yeah.
You sound good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think everything's political because of the time it's made. And I think Taylor always tacks to the median of culture because it's partly who she is. Partly, I don't think she actually, like, has that strong political opinions or, like, is that, into it. But the fact the EV Magazine actually just, like, distorted. It's like you're choosing to ignore everything else she's ever made and pretend that none of that exists, and just pretend like she just made this album, and you can only take, like, the most one-dimensional view of it and, like, twist it for what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They call Travis a protector, provider, and partner for life. And I'm like, if he didn't play football, you would call him, like, a low-T soy boy. You know what I mean? Like, because he's has emotions and empathy and kindness. And I don't, know a ton about him, but it seems to me he's not really out there trying to be an alpha male.
No, he is, but he's like more, he's dynamic. The fact is, it's not so reductive. And like, people aren't fixed and they're not perfect. But I think for them, for those people, the two of them represent, like, Americana, perfect high school, Midwestern family.
They don't understand the complexity of human nature and emotion. They have these, they have, like, the boxes that they're putting the people in, and of what they are, of what they can see. But it's much more complex.
Yeah, they also just take the lyrics out of context entirely, which I think is so them, but whatever. Can do that if you want. What did you think of, someone mentioned in the comments, Canceled, that song was, like, trying to embrace her MAGA friends. I took it more as just, like, a general, like, I'm not going to police myself over what people think about who I talk to, whatever, because she deals with that a lot. And then the Charlie XCX song. I'm curious what you thought about that.
I mean, if it's about Charlie XCX, I just find it so funny though that they're like, oh, he was, like, confident because she was on cocaine. Everyone's like, that's Charlie, and I'm like, oh, poor Charlie XCX. Everyone already immediately assumes it's you, but
well, also because sympathy is a knife.
I thought it was
and the
fun.
boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things as well.
She also sings about cocaine. Can we have it do a little key? Should we do a little line?
Oh, does she?
6
She must, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, I know she does. But anyways, I actually really like that song, and I
Same.
really like I really liked the bridge. That was, I thought, a fun bridge.
Of actually
Um,
romantic.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. I know. I don't know. I love mess, as Marie Kondo would say. And so like if this is like a drama between two pop stars and I can just like and this is what I can like consume my time with, I live for it. Like I would much rather be like watching that than like the state of the world. Um like this
Yeah.
is what maybe
I
they're
think
doing it for us. Maybe they're in on it because they know
I
that we
think
need this.
I think something must have happened more than just like the song. And I think it probably has to do with Maddie Healy. Um, and there's like a little bit of like a rivalry there. It felt like a little unnecessary kind of punching down vibe, but
No matter
uh,
what does, she would be punching down. Like
at this point,
all of her at this point, like who can she punch?
she could punch laterally
Beyonce? That's a bit terrible idea.
or
Terrible
just like
idea.
don't punch. You don't need a punch.
Yeah. Um, but I saw a tweet of it was a video of Taylor Swift dancing to Guess at the Grammys, and then someone was like, "Can you believe that she had actually romantic in the hard drive while she was dancing to this?" Like really bopping out. It's funny.
I mean, something I was also thinking about with Charlie XCX is like she handles more mature themes than like more mature emotional themes, I think, than Taylor Swift very well lyrically. And I wonder if that's like apparent to the people around them. I assume it is.
Think so. Yeah. I mean, the line in like I think it was him alluding her alluding being like, and your boyfriend must be so sick of you talking about me all the time. Like that
Yeah.
must like that was like, ooh, yeah, that probably hurt.
Well, do you think Taylor has to still sort of balance her fandom being both adults and like the teens? Because it seems to me she has always tried to do both, whereas other folks are sort of more one or the other. And I did hear she has a song called Wood on this album, which seems
Uh-huh.
not safe for tweens.
Yeah, it's very sexually explicit. Or not it's not sexually explicit, but it's like very suggestive.
It is. It is. Doesn't she say she said what does she say in it? She says she was like digmatized in that. I think she says digmatized at some point.
What
She says,
keeps bringing up? Vicky feels like I'm not listening to an album with Dick Matisse.
okay, it's more like
Like,
just like the okay. This is an example of this where I was like, okay, Sabrina Carpenter just did this with House Tour, and she did it like much more sophisticated.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a really fun time listening to that one because it has a very like Motown Jackson 5 feeling in the beginning. And it feels like a vibe. And you can
I
just
liked it
tell
too. It is fun.
you can tell she's having like fun. It's like a fun song. But yeah, I would
I mean,
say
I noticed
children, maybe not.
the imagery that she put out in advance is also her dressed very scantily. There was like a lot of
Hmm.
boobage. It very much felt different than her previous what I have seen of her previous albums as an outsider, which is like big sweaters, cute mini skirts, you know what I mean? It definitely did not feel as explicit as this album, and it seems to me a little bit like she was trying to send the message with the aesthetics and the content that she's growing up.
Well,
You know,
yeah. And
She's
what's
yassified.
interesting, she's yassified. What's interesting is in the beginning of the Eras tour, there's one specific outfit in particular that she, the midnight leotard, right? Like originally it was just like a normal like side leotard and then like that she had stockings on. So it was like an outline of her butt. By the end of the tour, it was a thong. I think that she just like was like for 2 years on stage being like, you're amazing, you're so beautiful. I think she became like a sexified version of herself after 2 years on the road, and probably just felt more confident in her skin.
And Travis.
And Travis, yeah, like,
I
and
think
so,
Travis likes that look. Like he's
mhm.
into that. Like he likes that like BBL situation. I'm one thing I will say, I was like, when I was sort of underwhelmed by the like storytelling, I'm sorry about my echo. Um, I was just thinking, I'm like, you know what? If she's happy and it prevents her from making, and if she needs to feel like sad and limerent to make like incredible, deep music, I'm glad she's happy and good for her.
Yeah.
I mean, is there going to be a song at Shake It Off level of boppiness? Am I going to like one of the songs? Is it worth it for me?
Liking is different than, like, first of all, I don't like Shake It Off as a song. Like,
Is
it's my
anything from
least
No,
favorite
but
song.
it's a bop. Shake It Off is a bop and the only one I know.
I think a good measure is any song from this album going to be played at any part of anyone's wedding? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is there going to be a reception? Is there a cocktail hour song? Oh, Opalite is very
Opalite?
good. Yeah,
Opalite.
I like that one. I
I
like that
think
one.
probably that. I think probably Opalite would be the most, like,
Yeah.
fun. Yes, I read 107 Days to whoever just A.B. Wordy. I did. Fine. Um, yeah, I think Opalite is like the most fun. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that many will be played at a
Hmm.
wedding.
I want to go backwards to one other thing in like political tie-in, which is when you were talking about her sort of war with Charlie XCX and that sort of antagonism. And I also just think she's very good at right, like Tree Payne is very good at media coverage, right? And as we know from Trump, right, like battles and wars, one of the reasons that Republicans have been really effective in the current attention economy is that they know you have to constantly be fighting these battles because that's what people pay attention to. And I feel like she also knows that, right? And so I've heard a lot of stuff about the album that I was reading was like she was going after Travis's ex and going after Charlie XCX and a lot of X's in here. But like, a lot of people. And I was like, and you're writing about it. You're doing what she wants, it seems to me.
Yeah, it seems like I thought the mention of or the allusion to Travis's ex was like a little unnecessary, but then again, I don't know what goes on.
I just wonder, I'm like, what is she supposed to write about if not her life? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, and it's so, and her life is just so public. It's you know so much about it, but it's because we search for that. If we weren't searching for her ex-boyfriend from high school, who that could possibly be, like, you know what I mean? We wouldn't be looking for it. I don't know. It's just such like a it's like a catch-22. It's like feeds into each other. Like when
My
I
issue
listen to the
isn't, yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter album, she rhymes the names of her exes. And
Yeah.
people are still don't even do as much digging into that as they do of like some lyric that she puts into a random song on an album. You know what I mean?
Well, Taylor Swift created that relationship by rewarding people who for doing that. That's number one. She does it on
Hmm.
purpose. She hypes the fact that she does it. She retrofits things to mean other things. Like she invites that. She invites a certain type of parasocial relationship. So with Sabrina, okay, my issue is not like what she wrote. I don't have any issue with like her content choices.
Yeah.
I just think that like she's tackled the same things better. And like
Hmm.
Sabrina writing about her exes, like it was just much more creative than any of the writing on this.
Yeah. I don't know. I do agree that there's like a lot of similar themes, things that she's addressed. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's still too early. I'm excited to listen to it, keep listening to it, and like really delve into it. But I try to
Same.
want to like relate it to my life.
Right. It's like not for future time.
Yeah.
Emily, something you said about the attention, you're right. But the thing is, she's not an elected official who needs to like pass any policy. So it's like she doesn't need to do this, though she could maybe give them some lessons.
Sure, she doesn't need to do this, but I think her motivation is money making, right? Like she's not trying to
Accolades.
she's not trying to persuade people with that attention to do anything other than buy her product. Whereas, Trump is trying to persuade people to vote and pressure people in certain ways to achieve his policy goals. But the goal is nonetheless like influence and persuasion. And I will say, like, one of the things to close out sort of where we started with a similar conversation is one of the things I've always thought about like QAnon, especially when it was in his heyday, is I was like, these people need to find friends to play Settlers of Catan with. You know what I mean? Like people like we are animals made for hunting and gathering to figure out puzzles, and we've been like put in our little boxes with our 9 to 5s, and like food is very easy to acquire and all of these things. And we need little puzzles to figure out. Like I give my dog the little snuffle mat, you know what I mean? So she can get a little thinking. And with QAnon, people like found that. And I always thought it was sort of good that Taylor was offering with her stuff, like not only a community but a language and a way for people to be involved in like something that is generally sort of interesting and positive. And she figured out that part of human nature, whereas I feel like a lot of the other mainstream is just focused on like how can we like capture these people attention for 30 seconds or 2 hours, whatever it may be, but not keep their attention.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is single-handedly keeping millions of white women out of QAnon. I think so. Like, you know, but that's because of her lyrics. Like, there's stuff to look into. There's like ways to read things. There's references. And I think this lacked that as much.
That these women have Taylor Swift to really do their deep dives into, because they could accomplish so much more nefarious things.
Maybe that's why she made it like so quote unquote trad wife oriented, so that they'll be kept busy.
He's playing the 2028 plan. She's playing the long game. She's like, I'm going to influence these women.
I do think that like there is a role in politics for gateways, right? And this has been one of the really powerful things the right has figured out. We've had this huge monumental flip in our culture, right? Like Democrats used to be this big tent, even just as close as the Obama era. And then the Republicans were this like incredibly homogenous, intolerant group of people. And they realized like to win elections, you need volume. And so to acquire that volume, they engaged in this very, very well-funded plan to establish gateways. I mean, one of my favorite conservative influencers, Alex Clark, is like a huge Swiftie and has been this whole time, right? And so people start following her because they are also Swifties, and then they get pink-pilled. And it's a really like incredible thing. And I do think that like Taylor Swift does have some form of gateway into mainstream culture, because she's never going to flip, right? Like I at least, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel confident in saying that like there is some value to her being out there and creating content that people find accessible to then pull into her viewer, which is predicated on a woman being the boss and a career and powerful and all of those things. Now, if she has kids and like leaves the biz, I'll eat my words.
She might do that for like a few minutes, but that's normal. Like lots of people do that, and she can, I think that the idea that like that is like the way that the species procreates, that is considered like anti-feminist for her to go do that after everything else she's done. Like it just doesn't like make sense.
Well,
like
I didn't say take a break. Yeah. I said quit.
Right.
Like those are two.
I don't think she'll quit.
But,
no, she loves it too much. She loves attention and performing, and
she loves writing songs.
And yeah, all of it. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I guess she's supposed to make a movie. I guess, yeah.
She wants an EGOT. Like she's not, content to stop.
She's an accolades girly. I think like part of like like what you were saying before of like the pink pilling, because I actually get that on the opposite end, whereas like someone will follow me because they're also a Taylor Swift fan, and then I'll like post like something about Zoran, and they're like, oh no, and like, but I think that like she's like her biggest power politically is like the messaging in her music, like, and it's like it's like a little bit of like a spoonful of sugar, like with the medicine, like thinking about like gay rights and being the man. And I think and so like, I don't think that she needs to be as vocal. I think if you're paying attention or you're listening, it's getting in there. That makes sense.
Even if Evie will try to claim her as theirs and change her lyrics so that it doesn't say forever nightstand. It just says forever stand. Because people don't have sex before marriage.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's why.
I also think that we should. I always with Evie wonder, like, if you put it through an AI check, how close you'd get. With that, thank you everyone for joining us to talk about Taylor Swift and politics. This is the longest I've ever talked about Taylor Swift in my whole life. So
I would have to go for another couple hours to get
I
there.
could too. I'm like, no, this has been great. I needed to get this out.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
We had it. Okay, bye guys. Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
guys. Bye.